This one good sell. It's almost 3 in the morning. Let's find out if Judge Oberg got something in before the clerks left. I'm doubtful. I didn't see anything by the church to indicate that they were trying to cover something up, or nothing. Nothing. Alrighty. Yeah. Come on, Oberg. We're all waiting on you. On you. So do I have something to do for you? Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about my kids. I am a father, and I understand I'm even a grandfather. I was able to raised Melissa for 4 years, Clayton for 2. Never got to do anything with Emma. So in that short period of time, I still learned a lot from my kids. And it's kind of an irony, because as infants and young children, they're learning for the first time how to use their bodies, sight, touch, hearing, smell, taste, speech, and so everything for them is brand new. And I noticed that they were always trying to imitate their parents. They looked to us as parents as to how to do things in their life. And I recognized that the age of the terrible twos was when the child was getting confused. They weren't sure how to act, but they thought that they had learned enough that they knew what they wanted in life. And so when mommy and daddy would say no, do something confusing for them, they would act out, thus the terrible twos. And so being aware of that, Stephanie and I developed a parenting method of communication. But I recognize with the communication that you have to simplify it, not dumb it down, though you need to use simple words. I remember in junior high at Tuffrey Junior High, we were given Actually, it was our literature teacher who was a Nazi, didn't want us to graduate and was purposely trying to fail us, but then was told by the school to pass us anyway, despite everybody getting F's in the class. He gave us a language measurement tool to count the number of words in your sentence, which placed you at a reading level. And you were supposed to use extremely big, complex words to use as few as possible to explain something. And that meant that you were at a higher education level if you could use bigger words and thus fewer words in a sentence. But with little children, you've got to go way down. Tarzan meet Jane type sentence structure. Stephanie didn't really catch on to that. She tried to talk to them as an adult. And so there was some recognizable confusion because of Stephanie not speaking their language. Not condescending, but speaking their language. And Stephanie did not understand what that difference was, because my educational level was higher than hers, and so when I would speak to Stephanie, having infants in the house where I also had to adjust for their level of language, she would assume that I was condescending to her. But that's not the subject matter. And so using noun, verb, object, that's what you need to focus on. Avoid excessive adjectives, avoid adverbs, avoid prepositional phrases, that kind of thing. Teach them over time, but start at their very young age with the very simple noun, verb, subject. And as parents, we become the children's educators. We're supposed to be teaching them about everything in life. But I noticed that because everything was brand new, there were times when they would discover something brand new on their own. And I would witness as they would come to me to show me the new discovery that they've made, as if they were a scientist and they've made this great discovery. It was so cute. And look. And I would go, oh, wow, yeah. And then I would do something with it, and they would go, whoa. and so, in that respect, I became somebody very smart in their eyes. I'm sure if you're familiar with Star Trek, they portray the concept of those with higher technologies appear to be like gods to those of no technology. And it's just a matter of the level of science that determines how people understand who God is. But it was kind of amusing to witness my children's behavior as they thought that they knew better than I did. That they had made a discovery and they were sure that I had not discovered it. And I still see that in adults that I've encountered in my life. That there are those who think they know better than others, and try to even some I've had comments from who allude to things. I remember doing a video where I did a comment video about a guy who came up with this created doctrine for Mormonism, talking about the different crowns. He made it all up, but he was commenting as if it should be obvious to me, but I'm dumb because I didn't come up with it because he did. And so yeah, he gets deleted and banned. But I find it amazing that childish behavior still in the minds of adults. It's kind of amusing that we don't grow out of it to realize, you know what, I didn't know as much as I thought I did. And of course, as teenagers, we know everything, and we rebel against authority and adults because adults are in authority. Because again, we think we've figured something out that our parents and our adults have never known or experienced themselves, not realizing they were in our position. But then there's me. Because as a Mormon, growing up, we're told to search the scriptures and find answers in the scriptures. And so I was obedient to that. I mean, I came from a white supremacist, Nazi, Mormon, elite parenting. And so I was rebellious in that respect because they tried to take away my agency, and I didn't like that. And yet, at the same time, I still had those traits in my pursuit of truth, which is a good thing for that, as long as it's not discriminating against others, but it's discriminating on how you search for the correct information, the correct facts, the correct evidence, and you discriminate against hearsay and fake news. But you got to know what is correct fake news to discard it. And so as a result of dedicating my life to the pursuit of studying, researching the scriptures, When I moved to Utah, I found that I was not behind in what Mormons here in Utah knew. Because I thought, as the center stake of Zion, surely the traditions of Mormons, they're raised up with the truth, with the knowledge of Mormonism, and that I was going to be behind in my knowledge coming here to Utah. And instead, I became the master. The apprentice has become the master. And so, as a result, Mormons here in Utah, even though I was actually knowing information that they did not know, they still treated it as if they knew better than me. And so they didn't pay much heed to what I was telling them, unless it was something ear-tingling. And I had a lot of ear-tinglings, but bishops were quick to observe, we gotta keep this guy silent. We don't want him to have a following. But yeah, I was, in essence, saying, hey, I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. Look, Daddy, I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. Oh, yeah. Now watch what you can do with it. Whoa! Yeah, there was nothing like that from Utah. And so as a result, I felt like my son Clayton showing Mormons something I'd discovered, and instead of acknowledging that I had discovered something new, I was instead attacked. Or in the parent-child relationship, they beat me as a drunken bum of a father. And so, yeah. So, very interesting twists in life that way. Alrighty, so now we have to wait for the clerks to show up on Monday and to start filing what they didn't get to on Friday night, and then see if Oberg was among those. And if they purposely put hers till last, which gets filed after the noon hour, I'll have to wait until Tuesday. Especially if they didn't get my copy mailed out to me. Oh, man. But yeah, everybody was shaping up after I filed that weekend. The church went silent. They made attempts to flee, it appears. The clerks did their job for once, the way it was supposed to be done. And the landlord, with the air sucker that I now have, that's making things difficult to hear, more so than the air conditioning units that I have because of last year's incident. She's all lovey-dovey now. Not lovey-dovey, but she's not a white supremacist anymore. Because last year, she was saying, "You're a liar. You haven't seen it." I mean, I had to take photographic video evidence to have as evidence against them and their false accusations of me being a liar. Even the maintenance guy shows up at my door finally a week later, and I say, "Well, there's mold. I don't need the air sucker." And he said, "You don't have mold." "Yes, I do." "No, you don't." "Yes, I do. Here, I'm going to go test this." An hour later, after going to the store, buying a test kit for mold, he just comes into the apartment, doesn't say a thing, and starts taking it apart. It's just unbelievable how I get treated. But this time, after having filed, the landlord is now, oh, sorry, master. We'll get this taken care of as soon as possible. I'm so sorry you're inconvenienced on this. We'll take care of this right away. Big change from her white supremacist typical speech. And then Percy, like I said yesterday, there's somebody else here now. He was gone all this week, other than to stop by and take people to the stores. But he doesn't stay in the building like he was starting to come back last week. And apparently he's been a naughty boy still. But that just to cover his own ass, because he's in the sling, not me. But everybody keeps telling me over these years, or the year that he's been here, that he keeps lying to them. And I said, yeah, stay away from him. All he does is lie to you. You caught him in a lie. You know he lies. Stay away from him. But nobody listens. But yeah, he's gone. Huh. I've had some other people, in regards to my finances, who are not being cooperative. They were not included on that filing. So I guess I should have done that too. I guess I should have included YouTube, Mormon employee. I should have included others. Because apparently if I don't mention them, they then attack. And so yeah, last week, after the filing, sure enough, YouTube shadow bans my videos worse than they're already shadow banning me. But they relented after a couple of days, as my views have started to go back up to normal levels, and almost breaking out of those normal levels on this channel, because I have 752 on my old channel, and by that time I was getting upwards of 100 or so views for a day. And so over time they would get into the thousands. And like I've been telling you, the big one that the spies for the church have been using is the 26,000 view version. They've also been using the ones where I first started talking about the Illuminati and the church. That was the other spy that came on that one. But this channel, I'm now over 1,000, and I'm still not getting the views I did on my other channel. So YouTube clearly is shutting me down on this channel, because I should be, by this time, getting hundreds per day, thousands over the course of time, and I should be having several that are breakout 20s, thousands of views. And so that's how I know that YouTube is attacking me to silence and censor me because of this. I even did a video first that was almost the exact same title as another LDS critic. They've got into the tens or hundreds of thousands of views. I was lucky to get 20. That's how bad YouTube is shutting me down. Because again, like I said, when I came to Utah, I thought I was Clayton saying, "Look, Daddy, I made a discovery." And Daddy says, "Oh yeah, here's what else you can do with it." I thought Utahns were going to do that for me. They couldn't. I ended up becoming the dad, saying, "Oh, look, Mormons, you think you've discovered something." And as a result of being adults, they don't like it when you outshine them in their own subject matter that they're supposed to be knowledgeable in. Because Mormons do have that ingrained belief that they are superior to outside Mormons as well. Not just to those who aren't Mormon, but to other Mormons outside of Utah. Utah has that ingrained in them. They are the best of the best. And so when some guy from the outside comes in, even if he's Mormon, and says, "Hey guys, look, I discovered something," and they can't go, "Well, yeah, but you can do this and this," when they can't do that because they didn't even know about this, they get pissed. They don't take it well. And that was the big shocker for me. But alrighty, let's upload this, see if I can get it done before I go running.